Hey everyone, my name is Groshin Krashevsky. I am the author of 6 books, both fiction and nonfiction, and I'll briefly discuss those in the order in which they were published. In 2018, my first book, the novel The Holdout. 2020, the Civil War History, Catholic Confederates. And then the next 3, 4, and 5 with Aroka Press in Toronto. I want to stop and pause because now it's 4 in a row with this book, Mark and Anna Models. That is the main focus of today's video. I want to stop and pause and give a huge shout out to Aroka Press. Alex Barbas, editor-in-chief. Alex is the coolest guy ever. He has the best press in all of North America as far as I'm concerned, Catholic or otherwise. Michael, the entire design team. The first book that I had out with Aroka in 2023 was the Hippo Lectures, this collection of essay speeches that I gave. And then 2 fiction books in a row, Seraphim and the Dust Plague, a thin novella, and most recently, before number 6, Mark and Anna, number 5, Thermonuclear Mirth, The End of the World, but Not Just Yet, this 900-page maximalist novel. Book number 6, obviously, is Mark and Anna Models, which was a 6-part series that I gave at Vandal Catholic beginning in the fall of 2024 and wrapping up spring 2025. And as I've said many times in this channel, you can go to the Mark and Anna Models playlist and listen to those as they were given live. As you can see here, I used Paul Newman and Gene Shrimpton as the models in this thumbnail for the Mark and Anna talks. I want to talk about, which is of course the whole point of this video, the forthcoming book. And if you look here at the front page, you have St. Augustine of Hippo holding up an umbrella, above which is written Mark and Anna Models, Reflections on the Timeless Wisdom of St. Augustine of Hippo through the Prism of Postmodernity. It is indeed very, very much a postmodern book and part and parcel of what I've said many, many times about my work in things like Seraphim and the Dust Plague, Thermonuclear Mirth, this reconciliation of timeless wisdom of Orthodox Catholic theology through the vehicle of a fun, abstract, maximalist, at times hyper absurd postmodern style. So here you see the front cover. Next you see the back cover. And finally you see the entire layout of the book, the full cover, as it will be folded around the spine, obviously. I want to read from if anyone is listening to this, audio only, not visual, not seeing that I have the full cover pulled up. I want to read to you from the back cover because I think it's the best explanation of the book that I could give, and it should be that way, obviously, right? This is the thing that if someone does judge a book by its cover, this is what they'll pick up and read. So without further ado, below that is something I won't read. You see a picture of myself, my miniature author biography. I'm just going to read these 3 chapters that describe the whole book and kind of leave it at that. Mark and Anna are fashion models, and by popular consensus, the 2 best-looking people on earth. So good-looking, in fact, strangers faint at the sight of them and run aimlessly into traffic, trying to get closer to them. A university program called Former Models Need Long-Term Love Too.edu brings them to the Palouse region for a first date at a secret restaurant on the old Moscow-Pullman highway. The date goes so well that by the end of the evening, Mark and Anna are engaged, and shortly afterwards, indeed that very day, married at a rustic church located in the Palouse Hills. During the first date, the couple are approached by a mysterious elderly Irishman named LeBron, who gives them an impromptu lecture on St. Augustine of Hippo. It is under this man's guidance that Mark and Anna will return to the secret restaurant on the old Moscow-Pullman highway throughout the story, receiving spiritual guidance concerning St. Augustine's insights on a wide range of topics, LeBron assuring them that God has grand plans for them. One day Mark and Anna will author a book on St. Augustine, initiating a revival of Augustinian theology in postmodern society. Written in what can be called a postmodern style, different fonts, colors, arrows, and free-form, hyper-abstractual spacing aplenty, Mark and Anna Models is a treatment of St. Augustine like you've never read. And when, at the conclusion of the book, 4 horsemen arrive across the now frozen old Moscow-Pullman highway, bearing a message from the President of the United States concerning a modeling show on the moon and extraterrestrial intergalactic geopolitics of the most sensitive nature, one is tempted to think, then say, right, that makes sense. It could not be otherwise. Okay, and so in conclusion, I think that back dust jacket 3-paragraph summary on the back cover does justice to what the story is about. I think that if you've never heard of this story, that's a good kind of primer. If you watched some of the talks, it'll still be interesting to kind of take in the whole story in some, not in the kind of serialized over the course of a year section. But I want to finish actually reading from the introduction to the book when I lay out in kind of longer form right before the actual story starts, kind of, people I'm grateful to and some more framing and that kind of thing. I want to really finish this video with a final time giving all credit to models, the unsung heroes of the postmodern theological landscape. It's long past time that fashion models got their due. They're people too, with feelings and dreams and ambitions and favorite flavors of ice cream. God, ultimately He alone, can claim the at-rest perfections of the good, the true, and the beautiful. While we humans fall short in all three categories, it is to models that we can look for the best of us in terms of beauty. Thank you, models, for making it possible to dress in a technical sense like absolute trash by way of a ripped $2 hoodie, 16-hole sweatpants, $1.77, and laceless coffee-stained Converses the thrift store gave you for free, for you had already paid more than they had hoped for. If a guy or girl is good-looking enough, it's not just cool, it becomes a trend. Thank you, models, for improving the effort output of society by anywhere from 16 to 28%. They see you, appreciate you, look at themselves, get depressed, but then think there's hope, there's help. For while I maybe can never get to that level, I can actually shave off my gross beard and make it to the gym more often than once a month and Google what type of shirt goes best with these types of pants. Thank you, by you just being you, making all of us better versions of ourselves.